ask is to be treated with respect. Well, how many times do I say I give what I get what I give? And so here we are. We're going to do our shows because we're contractually obligated to be here. So the cat's out of the bag. I guess we're talking about it. We weren't supposed to, just as a heads up. We were only given a few hours notice, but we weren't told any details. We were promised that no details would be released. We didn't even know who was taking our place in the lineup. Just that it was going to be announced that new show was being added. Unbeknownst to us, the Hollywood Reporter, of course, had all the details. So it was a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. I've been in this business for 20 plus years. I've been treated poorly a couple times. This didn't feel good.
Michelle Beadle is learning a harsh lesson. Well, KC, who in the hell is Michelle Beadle? Believe it or not, Michelle Beadle used to be considered a rising star in sports media. She was featured prominently on ESPN. I think she used to do a show with Colin Cowherd. But over the last 10 or so years, Michelle Beadle has essentially been anonymous. If you saw her face on the side of a milk carton, you wouldn't know if she was a sports radio host or an unknown point guard in the WNBA dump. Fun fact, though, about Michelle Beadle, she once made such a big deal over comments that Stephen A. Smith made, it led to him getting suspended by ESPN. This happened in the summer of 2014. Now keep that in mind as we continue. Apparently, the fall from grace has continued for Michelle Beadle. She went from ESPN to NBC, back to ESPN, all the way to the basement known as Sirius Satellite Radio. She's been hosting a show on Mad Dog Sports Radio with some dude named Cody Decker. Supposedly, Cody was a former Major League Baseball player. He debuted with the Padres in September of 2015, and his final game in the major leagues was October of 2015. Clearly, Cody had a Hall of Fame career. Yesterday, the Hollywood Reporter announced that Stephen A. Smith is going to have 2 new shows on SiriusXM. One show is going to focus on pop culture, social, political commentary. The other show, it's going to be sports related on Mad Dog Sports Radio. There was just one problem here, one tiny problem. The lineup at Mad Dog Sports Radio, it's already full. Adam Shine in the morning, Michelle Beadle and the 30-Day Baseball Player on in the mid-afternoon, Chris Russo for Afternoon Drive. Now, obviously, Chris Russo's not going to be replaced. He owns the channel. Adam Shine's not being replaced. He's been there for decades, which leaves Michelle Beadle and the 30-day contract out of a time slot. That's why Michelle Beadle was so upset. Now, all kidding aside, I would be upset too. I would be pissed off if I found out that I was out of a job by reading the Hollywood Reporter. But Michelle Beadle isn't the real story here for obvious reasons. I mean, no one gives a shit about Michelle Beadle. The real story here is the overexposure of Stephen A. Smith. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. Also, I'm sure you noticed some changes in the background. The nails on my bottom shelf back here gave out last night, breaking damn near everything that was on them. I'm going to be taking the shelves down this weekend and replacing them with something else, but for now, you'll just have to deal with this eyesore. A couple of months ago, Charles Barkley warned Stephen A. Smith that he was overexposing himself. Now, to his credit, Stephen A. Smith is an absolute machine. He's on the road throughout the NBA playoffs. He's all over ESPN every day. First Take in the morning with the insufferable Molly Karam. He's doing pregame and halftime shows during the playoffs. 3 days a week, he does the Stephen A. Smith Show here on YouTube. I saw this morning where he was once again being interviewed by Patrick Bet-David. General Hospital, Law and Order. This damn dude is everywhere. He never stops working. And now, he's launching 2 new shows on satellite radio. Why? How much does he have to say? More importantly, How much do people want to hear from him? Look, I like Stephen A. Smith. I don't always agree with him. I think he has a tendency to follow the crowd. Several years ago, he was combating mythical racism. Once America rejected the woke fungus, Stevie is suddenly a moderate. Dude hadn't talked about fake racism in months, maybe even a couple of years. I don't watch First Take on ESPN, but I will watch clips on YouTube from time to time. Show is, it's okay if you can get past the constant interruptions from Molly Karam, but First Take isn't nearly as good as it used to be. It's become a bromance where everyone constantly agrees with each other. Now, that being said, I do enjoy Stephen A. Smith on YouTube, but again, how much Stephen A. do we need? Do we really need Stephen A. Smith from morning to prime time? One of the things that's been bothering me recently about the NFL, they're destroying their scarcity. One of the reasons the NFL is so popular, there's a finite amount of games. For decades, we had the NFL on Sunday and Monday from September to December. That was it. Now, the league is trying to play games 7 days a week in every fucking country in the world. Stephen A. Smith is falling into the same trap. More isn't always good. Scarcity creates value. Matter of fact, oftentimes, less is more. One of the oldest strategies in television is to leave people wanting more. Kind of hard to do that when you never leave to begin with. For over a decade, lonely men who watch grown men spank each other in a wrestling ring, they have been complaining about the overexposure of WWE. You know when the WWF was at the pinnacle of their success and popularity? When they were on for 2 hours every Monday night on USA Network. That was it. Today, they've got shows damn near every day of the week and no one cares. In the late 90s, 6, 7, 8 million people were watching. Today, it's barely 1 million. Look, Stephen A. knows a hell of a lot more about this business than I do, but maybe Charles Barkley is right. Maybe Stephen A. Smith is overexposing himself. You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you on the main channel.